Hey, I'm Rachel Ngom from she'smakingimpact.com, and today I want to share with you, I'm pretty sure it's a devotional from Living While Spending Less. It's really good. So we're just going to dive in. If you're struggling with feelings of discontentment, you may not be feeling very blessed, and you may have no idea on where to start. And if so, consider that you're reading or listening or watching this content. And according to UNESCO, 26% of the world's adult population is illiterate, and women make up 2/3 of that number. There's a strong correlation between the poorest countries and those with the lowest literacy rate. Moreover, people in many countries around the world, including China, Iran, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, North Korea, have tightly restricted access to books, newspapers, and the internet. Reading is a gift. You're not hungry. In the past 24 hours, you've probably eaten at least 3 full meals, and chances are you've never had to experience the pain or exhaustion caused by lack of food or the fear of not knowing where your next meal will come from. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization estimates that 870 million people, or roughly 1/8 of the world's population, are suffering from chronic hunger. In fact, 1/3 of children in developing countries are considered malnourished, and more than 1/2 of the deaths of children each year are linked to poor nutrition. Food is a gift. You have access to medicine. As the debate over healthcare rages in Washington and lines are drawn in the sand, we sometimes forget how fortunate we are to even be having such a debate. We don't think twice about the antibiotics, vaccines, painkillers, and prenatal care that keep us healthy. And yet, the World Health Organization estimates that between 1.3 and 2.1 billion people in the world do not have access to even the most basic medicines. The World Health Organization also reports that this lack of medical access is strongly correlated to decreased life expectancy. Access to quality healthcare is a gift. You can drive. It might not be that brand new Audi you've been dreaming of. It might not even be dirty and dented and it's way past its prime. But if you own your own vehicle, you're in the lucky 9% of the world's population that does. Transportation is a gift. You have a place to sleep tonight. Chances are you even got your very own bed with sheets, blankets, and a pillow to go right there with it. According to the UN Commission on Human Rights, there are an estimated 100 million people without homes around the world, including between 600,000 and 2.5 million homeless right here in the United States. Even scarier, 1 in 3 Americans is only one paycheck away from being homeless. A place to call home is a gift. You can turn on the lights. It's sometimes hard to feel grateful when faced with a $100 plus electric bill, but most of us would need to spend only a day or two without electricity to be cured of ever complaining again. But believe it or not, more than 1.2 billion people in the world still don't have access to electricity. Electricity is a gift. You're not thirsty. How many times do we drink a glass of water or use the toilet or wash our hands without once stopping to think where that water came from or where it might go next? But the scary truth is 780 million people in the world lack access to clean water. Even more sobering is the fact that every year 3.4 million people, many of them children, die from water-related diseases. Clean water is a gift. There is a strange magic that happens the minute we stop comparing our lives to those we perceive as having more and instead begin intentionally appreciating all that we really have. We just tend to take all that basic, boring stuff for granted, but chances are we have all been blessed with gifts that many people don't have. When we open our hearts just enough to see the blessings we've already been given, our whole worldview changes from one of longing to one of overwhelming gratitude and joy. Again, I did not write that. That's from Living Well, Spending Less. But as someone who has lived in developing countries in Kenya and in Senegal, I can attest to everything pretty much that was written about having housing, about having clean water, everything. Be grateful. Having these things is a gift. And it just really reminds me of a story when I met somebody. I did a mission trip in Guatemala when I was in college. And this guy, he lived in, it was a very tiny little shack. And he was obviously poor by our standards, did not have much. And he was so happy. And I asked him, why are you so happy? And he goes, I have a roof over my head, I have food to eat, and I have my family, and I have my God. And that's all of that I need. Just some good perspective and food for thought for you today. I'll see you tomorrow.